And away, hey, away, ah, and away, and away, 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 and away, hey, away, ah. Hello, bonjour, Gwe. My name is WhiteDove, and I'm from the Wabanaki Nations of the northeast of the United States of America and of the eastern part of Canada. And the Wabanaki Nations include the Passamaquoddy, the Penobscot, the Micmac, the Maliseet, and the Abenaki Nations. And because of my Wabanaki heritage, I'm very close to the animals. And today I'd like to talk about my relationship with the rabbit. The rabbit is one of my totem animals, and I've been a rabbit keeper for many years. The word for rabbit in French is lapin or lapin, and the word for rabbit in Passamaquoddy is mataguas. I currently have 3 rabbits named Ginger, Chloe, and Chloe's right here on my right hand side in her cage, and Scoots. And pretty soon I'll show you some video clips of my 3 bunnies. And I wanted to talk about the experience I had as a rabbit keeper for those of you who are interested in having rabbits for pets. Unfortunately, a lot of people, once they adopt a rabbit, they discover that they don't want the rabbit anymore. And unfortunately, some people release the rabbit outdoors or out in the wild, where a domestic rabbit doesn't know how to take care of itself, doesn't know how to survive. A domestic rabbit needs human intervention. Domestic rabbits need loving human beings to care for them and to feed them and to keep them safe and to also socialize with them. Rabbits are very social animals. So I advise people, if they don't want their rabbit anymore, to please take the rabbit to a shelter, an animal shelter, some kind of animal rescue, a humane society, or find another good home for your rabbit if you don't want the rabbit anymore. Domestic rabbits are not like wild rabbits. They're not the same thing. The other thing I want to mention, the female rabbits will live a longer life if you have them spayed. We in fact lost one of our rabbits because we didn't have her spayed, and right before she turned 5 years old she died from a hemorrhage from her uterus. And this is very common for unspayed female rabbits. They tend to have life-threatening reproductive problems if you don't have them spayed. So please, I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope that all of the tips that I give you on rabbit keeping will be helpful to you in some way. Now we're in the rabbit garden on this Monday, Veterans Day 2012, the 12th of November. Today's around 60 degrees, and now it's Ginger's turn in the bunny garden. Ginger's kind of a brown Rex rabbit. She's sort of a part lopped ear bunny. Trying to get the bunnies out and about here in the garden to get some exercise today. Well, we still have a few nice days left here in the fall. What you doing? Ginger is about 6 years old. Oh, that was a big leap. I've had about 6 rabbits now. Oh, since 2001. And they all have different personalities, and they make great pets if you learn to understand rabbits. There's a lot of books and literature and websites about rabbits and how to get familiar with them and their ways and how to accommodate them. You need to clean their cages daily, make sure they have fresh water every day. Find a veterinarian that is very knowledgeable on rabbit care and on rabbits. And rabbits need to be fed fresh hay every day along with fresh water. They need an endless supply of hay all the time in their cage, plus rabbit pellets. After a year old, there's a special pellet for the adult rabbits so that they don't get too obese. And then you have to start decreasing as they get older, or they'll get obese. You have to start decreasing on their pellet intake. And a good veterinarian will help you decide that, when to start decreasing their pellet supply and have them eat more hay and fresh vegetables and fruits. In the House Rabbit Society online, they're one of the resources to find out what fruit and vegetables are good to give rabbits. If you can get organic produce for your bunnies, all the better, because they're such small creatures, and if there's any kind of chemical fertilizers or pesticides on the fruit and vegetables, it builds up in their systems a lot faster because they're so small. We feed them apples of an orange, lettuce like romaine lettuce, them spring mix from time to time, carrot sticks. Most rabbits don't like to be picked up. They don't make the ideal pet for young children for that reason, because they just don't like to be picked up. They're very well grounded. They're afraid to be dropped. And if you're going to let them run around parts of your house, you've got to rabbit-proof it. And this is where rabbit books and rabbit literature can help you learn how to do that. Rabbits like to chew on things because their teeth are always growing. So that's why you have to keep twigs, a little block of wood, and hay in their cage or in their surroundings, because that helps when they chew on those things. It helps prevent their teeth from overgrowing. So if you let them romp around your house, they're going to find things naturally to chew on. Your furniture, cords, electrical cords, which can be dangerous to the rabbit. They can get electrocuted. So rabbits do require, I think, a little more care than dogs or cats. The more you read up about it before you adopt a rabbit, the better your chances are of wanting to keep the rabbit. At Easter time, a lot of parents think they're doing a good thing for their children when they bring home a rabbit, an Easter bunny. And a lot of those rabbits end up at the humane societies, in all kinds of places for animals that aren't wanted anymore. Animal rescue services, because children and the parents don't want to put in the work and time that it takes to take care of a rabbit. And rabbits really should be seen once a year at the veterinarian, a knowledgeable veterinarian on rabbits. They should have a bunny wellness exam once a year, and as they get older, they should be seen twice a year by a veterinarian. And you're probably guessing, well, what's older for a rabbit? Well, it depends. Rabbits' average lifespan is maybe 5 to 7 years old. But we had a rabbit pass away in March who was 9 years old this year. And I've heard other people say that they've had rabbits live up to 11 or even 13 years old for them. So it all depends on the rabbit and the type of care they get. The indoor rabbits live longer than rabbits that are kept outdoors all year long in hutches. All our rabbits have been indoor rabbits. We have cages for them inside the bunny room. Each rabbit has her own cage. Right now we have 3 rabbits, and they each have their own cage because they're very territorial. And then attached to the rabbit room is this enclosed garden area. And we are in the city, so there's not a lot of predators around. Maybe some cats. But we keep an eye on the rabbits when they are out here in the rabbit garden. But we don't keep them out here unattended. And as soon as they've had enough exercise, we bring them back inside the house. And that's where they stay. Right, Ginger? In their cages. Nice and safe and warm during these cold Maine winters. And even in the summertime, they stay in the rabbit room in their cages. when they're not out here in the garden. And we have to keep them cool on very hot summer days because rabbits don't have a cooling mechanism built in. So we have to put the fan on them or keep them in air conditioning because in the wild, rabbits normally would burrow in the ground to keep cool, and they can't do that inside the house. And on real hot, humid days, we'll give them what we call wet pets. We dip our hand in some cool water and then rub our hand over them to wet their fur with cool water. And that helps cool them down too on real hot, humid summer days. Each of our rabbits have a tray in their cage, and we clean the tray every day. That's their litter box. So if you want to let your rabbit romp around inside the house, find out where they want to leave their droppings, and that's where you want to put an extra litter box so that when they're not in the cage, they have another place where they can use the bathroom. Leave some things around the room for them to nibble on and chomp on, maybe a branch, some hay, anything that they might like to chew on, a block of wood. It's just to help them steer away from your furniture, try to get curtains away from them, things that they might want to just nibble on. They will nibble on carpets and fabric. Really, you cannot leave a rabbit unattended in a room. They're very curious creatures. They're fun to watch. You'll find that rabbits make wonderful companion animals. Rabbits are very affectionate, loving animals. And they are very intelligent.
In the way, in the way.
And there's Chloe, our new addition to the family here. We adopted Chloe at the Bangor Humane Society October 30th, I believe. The day after she was spayed at the Bangor Humane Society. October 30th, 2012, she came home with us. She's just a juvenile New Zealand white variety rabbit. Now that she's healing up nicely from the spay operation, she's getting a lot of energy back. This is really the first nice day we've been able to get her out. Today is hovering around 60 degrees. And Chloe had some health issues once we took her home. We had to take her at the end of that first week there at home. We had to take her to River Road Veterinary Hospital for a checkup with Dr. Carter, who discovered that she had mites. Her ears were infested with mites. So Dr. Carter cleaned out the mites from her ears and put some medicine in there, and for a week we had to put some drops in her ears, which Chloe did not like. And then Dr. Carter gave us some medicine, Medicam, for the pain she might have been experiencing from the spay operation. So we did that for like 3 days after we took her home from the vet, from Dr. Carter. There she is. There's Chloe. There's plenty of munchies in the yard. Lots of leaves, even some grass and dandelions. And snow on the mountain, which she's nibbling now. Dried leaves, twigs. Doing all kinds of jigs and everything, dances out here in the garden. There she did. She just digged. She just jigged. Yep, Chloe just jigged. There she is. She's doing all kind of tricks here in the garden now that she's acclimated to it. That is one fast rabbit. Meow, meow. Look at that rabbit go. Meow.
In the way, hi-ya, way, hi.
Okay, it's Scoots' turn out in the garden. Yes, he comes. There's Scoots. It's a 7-year-old New Zealand white. Meow, Scoots. He's under the chair.
Away, away, hi, away, 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 hi.
What a pretty girl.